Good morning. This is Rosalind Harvin, and I wanted to take an opportunity to share section 5 of Start with the Why with you guys. I chose the title You Are Only as Good as Your Average Employer. And I want to talk about how the biggest challenge is success, and that's with any organization. So I picked 4 things that really stuck out to me in this section, and they all talk about how great leaders inspire. And so, great leaders are visionaries, they have the ability to have successful recruitment, they value their employees, and they can inspire. In order to have a successful business, organization, or school, everyone must take action. You have to have strategic leadership, human resource leadership, external development leadership, and cultural leadership. And kind of what I did for those 4 topics is I matched what I received, the knowledge that I read in Start with the Why, and I matched that up to the North Carolina Superintendent competencies. So the first one I have is visionary. So a strategic leader has a vision, and that comes from Standard 1. A quote that I chose from the story says, "It takes more than a competitive nature, a strong work ethic, and a sense of optimism to build a company." As a strategic leader, you must create working relationships, model and reinforce the culture and your why by involving everyone in the vision and plan. Have the ability to reimage and carry a vision, determine priorities, know the differences between being successful and feeling successful, and then know the connection between what you do and why you do it. And that's where a lot of leaders lose the credibility. They confuse their what with the why. In order to be successful in any job as a leader, you have to have the ability to recruit. So, kind of being a human resource in itself, which comes from Standard 4. A line or quote I pulled from the story is, "Passion only survives when there is structure." So, since the greatest challenge is success, a leader must know processes and systems that should be in place for success, for recruitment, induction, support, and retention of employees. Know how to correctly distribute leadership, trust and rely on others to make big decisions and hiring choices. So being able to delegate is important. Incorporate collective responsibility, model the ability to accomplish substantial outcomes, have open communication of how and why policies and practices are in place to enhance your why. And then hire good fits, people that know how everyone deserves to be treated. So you can't just hire someone that's going to get you that end result. You have to hire someone that's going to be in it from the beginning to the end. The next one is value. So be a leader that develops externally, which comes from Standard 6. If you give people the right tools and make them more productive, then everyone, no matter their lot, will have an opportunity to achieve their real potential. A great leader must lead the cause both internally and externally by using stakeholders appropriately. So, in the world of education, that means knowing how to use those people on the board of education, your staff, your students, and the parents to assist with the structures and processes that result in community engagement and support of the vision. Being able to develop collaborative partnerships with the greater community. Again, relationships matter. Create opportunities for engagement and shared responsibility for aligned goals. Develop proactive partnerships and have the ability to eliminate external barriers. And then last but not least, know that value is a feeling, a perception that holds greater value. And your actions speak louder than the words. So you can't just tell someone, I appreciate you and I value you. People want to see that. You also have to be able to inspire. Be a cultural leader, which comes from Standard 3. And a quote I pulled from Start With The Why says, when the why is gone, all you have left is the what. Never forget where you came from and never forget the why. So a good leader can empower the everyday man and know that if you look after people, they'll look after you. Some of the best companies, the happiest employees are those that feel valued and they know that they have that relationship at work. A cultural leader will understand that people do serve and they know the connection that needs to be in place to move them forward. They can reculture or realign if the what begins to overpower the why. They can create equitable practices that become the norm, and they can celebrate accomplishments and create an environment in which diversity is valued and promoted. So after I kind of took that information and paired it together, I thought of some of the highlights of things that really stuck out to me professionally in the leader that I'm aiming to be. And I kind of put those things together for you guys. So the highlights for section 5 was working hard does not always attribute to winning. You must have a purpose, which is the why, a plan, the how, and be prepared for the desired results, which are the what. So you have to know why you're doing it, what you're going to do, and how you're going to do it. You must believe in people, meaning your employees, your customers, your community. Know the secret and how well people work together. Put careful consideration in the process because if it's not clear on the inside, it'll never be clear on the outside. So if everybody is rowing the boat a different way, you're never going to get anywhere. Out of the relationships of superintendents, of these relationships, the superintendent must create a common shared understanding of the purpose of the work of the schools and the school district and commitment to and ownership of a set of beliefs and goals that focus everyone's decision making. Some more things I pulled out. It has to be about more than the end result. A lot of times in education, particularly, all we look at are test scores and school letter grades. We never really think about the relationships that we put in jeopardy with pushing the students so hard. We never think about outside factors and making those connections to the students so that they feel safe and loved so they can learn. We have to know how to hold ourselves and others accountable, especially in leadership. People are watching you. You can't allow one person to do one thing and someone else the other. That really affects your accreditation. Keep the why and the what aligned. Don't lose focus on what you're doing. Your passion should be so exciting that it can affect others as well. People should just want to get on board. People should be excited to follow your lead. Ensure that the measurement of what clarifies the why. So again, going back to that why, being able to keep your passion of what you're doing because it supports your why. As a leader, you have to empower people to seek and build powerful alliances and partnerships with students, parents, and community stakeholders in order to enhance their ability to produce improved student achievement. It is important to build relationships and make connections that will then lead to student improvement. I'm not going to learn anything if I don't feel that you care about my well-being, and that's important. Also, the leader or founder of any organization or company is responsible for extracting and integrating the culture of the company. This creating a sense of cause, a desire, and the purpose to use what you have to change the world. You have to believe in others and give them the power to believe in themselves. Never jeopardize the why by focusing on the growth of the what. And then change the mindset of the outcomes. Focusing on the what means that you're only measuring success by what gets done. We see this a lot in the realm of education, and compliance becomes the norm. I'm just checking it off. I'm making sure I get this done. At the end of the day, I'm making sure I do test prep. I'm making sure schools are doing what they need to get that letter grade to be successful. And that's important, but a lot of times we lose sight in relationships and why we're here in the first place. Leadership is neither a position nor a person. It is a collection of practices that must be embedded in all job roles, at all levels of all schools, and within the school district. Knowing how to focus on the goals and objectives of local boards of education as they support, monitor, and evaluate the performance becomes imperative. So you have to not only know your why, but know what you're doing, know where to pull information from, know where to go, and then most importantly, something I always add, know that it's okay to ask questions and pull other experts in that may be able to help you so that you don't lose the focus of your why. Every successful business needs a leader to march in front, preaching the vision and reminding people why they show up in the first place. Know how to reestablish power, think different, and redefine the what or how while staying true to your why. So if you getting involved and you see that it's switching or you're shifting to another why, going back to your why and refocusing. You can't pull all the strings and push all the buttons, and we know that. You got to rely on the brains and management skills of other people. Being a leader means you have to know how to delegate, and this book really talks about that, or this section. Put people in place who believe in and want to continue the mission without replacing it with their own visions of the future. So hiring those people, asking those questions, do you know the vision and the mission? How can you add to? What are some things that you can do to help implement the vision and the mission or help us meet our goals, so that you know right then and there if this is a good person that's a good fit for your school or for the organization. Superintendents create conditions that result in strategically aligning the district's vision, mission, and goals to ensure that every student graduates from high school and that every student is globally competitive for work and post-secondary education and that they're prepared for life in the 21st century. They build on the district's core values and beliefs about the preferred future, and then they develop the pathway to reach it. So in doing so, they're able to keep their why. Last but not least, split happens. And this really brought back focus to me to let me know that things happen, that what may change, that how may change, but it should never shake the foundation, which is your why. Always recognize the value and loyalty in people over money. When people know what you do, why you do what you do, it's easier for them to get on board with your visions and your goals. If I believe in what you believe in, we have the same values, and I know that you have a purpose, then I'm a lot more comfortable getting on board with you than getting on board with someone who doesn't know the outcomes. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't have the foundation in place. Keep a clear sense of purpose, cause, and belief. Stay true to the why. Aim to inspire everyone around you. And something that just kind of stuck out to me that was in the story is it says, many businesses fail because they can't be through off of results alone. A business fails when people simply come to work, manage systems, and work only to retain a certain result. And that part right there made me think about the politics of education, especially public education right now, and why it is what it is. Again, I'm Rosalind Harvin. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, and thank you for the patience of sitting through this presentation today. Thank you.